What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Flame07D and this is Perspective Gaming, here with another Apex Legends video. Today's video is the last part of my battle armor coverage for Apex Legends. I have been breaking down each armor during this event and giving my pros and cons and just my overall thoughts about how this could change Season 5 and could change Apex Legends forever. So if you guys haven't catched my previous coverage, links down below and in the cards above to the previous videos about purple, blue, and white shields and their place and everything. But today's video is the last of the series talking about Evo shields. Now the last armor type that recently introduced. How does it change the game? Is it good? Is it bad? Let's discuss and break this down. So without further ado, let's get to it. Now, once again, if you're new to this series or just catching my video for the first time and don't understand really what's going on in the battle armor event, let me recap. It is my perspective, it is my insinuation that this event is being launched to get data to see if they are going to remove the RNG aspect of shields in Season 5 or down the line for Apex Legends. I strongly believe that this is the next move they're going to do, considering everything that they've been talking about and mostly just the way they're hinting that they really want to change the core of how you play Apex Legends. So I feel like this would be the right direction to go in. So that's my main insinuation, and that has been my focus during this coverage, is breaking down to see which armor that that they've introduced would fit well as a main shield to make the game still fresh and new, but doesn't dramatically change how we play the game. So today's video is Evo shields. So let's again break this down between the starting of the match, how the match feels, and then going into overall thoughts. And then now, since we are at the last armor type, I will be giving my ranking and my explanation of how I would vote in the direction we should go, and kind of break down why I think that way. And and I would love for this to be a talking point, so please make sure to leave your comments down below if you agree or disagree. But let's get started with the start of a match. How does the start of a match differ compared to normal Apex Legends? Really, with Evo shields, you really get a stark difference between aggressive players and passive players. I did my best to ensure to play as both to really get an idea of how I would feel, since I kind of teeter-totter between either being aggressive and play edge and ring versus being aggressive and hot dropping. And I got to say, this armor type, the Evo shields, like I was kind of assuming, really emphasizes aggressive play and really motivates that, not only because of the way it's set up, but also just my mindset going into it. Right? When you're talking about being aggressive with Evo shields, that means hot dropping where people are gonna come in because they're gonna be weak. You need to level up your armor, right? You want to get that damage in, so you run light with people so that way you can level up and be set for the match, because the last thing you want to do is be caught with 125 health while everyone else has 225. Now, so when you're hot dropping in this kind of scenario, it actually becomes super easy to 1v3 multiple teams, be able to take care of yourself. If you're good at movement, if you're good at hitting your shots, I didn't feel bad, taking the multiple opponents at different times. It is chaotic, I'm not gonna lie. It is super chaotic trying to fight in this, but I feel very aggressive players and people who love kind of doing that stuff will love this, because this is just a great way to play. If it's fun, it's engaging, you feel really good about it. And my worry here was that I thought it would take a while to level up, but multiple times when I have dropped and done good, I managed to level up to purple in literally sometimes 1 to 2 firefights, and sometimes even in the same fight I get to purple because of how on and off you're disengaging. So that concern of getting to at least a decent health pool kind of goes out the window, because you really can level up. And as you see on screen, there have been instances that you can do that, or at least very armor swap to level up. So that's what makes it a little bit fun, right? You can think about this in multiple ways. Should I, engage and do the damage myself to level up, or just take advantage in third party and armor swap when you can? Because a lot of people are going to be in the same boat where they level up, but they just unfortunately and die. And that leads into my passive aggressive, Apex Legends players. How do they fit in? Does this discourage people playing passively? And it's a yes and no in my opinion. Yes, because honestly, every time I played Edge or Ring or I didn't land where at least I knew there was one other team, I was extremely nervous getting into my first fight because I knew how easy it was to level up, and though finding a team with purple or red or even blue just makes you feel at a disadvantage, and it's just more of a mindset where you're like, dang, what do I do? But like I mentioned, being smart now, since these firefights allow you to level up, you can easily try to take advantage and loot boxes and swap to a leveled up armor. So there is instances where you can play passive and be smart about it and kind of weasel your way into the top 5 and get your way there and still be good for your proper engagement. So I'm not gonna say it's not possible. I totally think it's possible, and I still think it's a very valid way of playing the game. It's just a mindset that it comes to being that just a little nervous when you do it. That's just me, but doing it and actually put it into practice, I think it's possible. And passive players and edge players, I don't think you have to worry. You just got to be smarter. If rotation and engagement becomes ever more apparent, it's when you're playing passive with Evo Shields, because you need to understand how to properly get into fights, disengage, engage, and rotate out. That becomes super key in surviving if that's going to be your play style. When it comes to the match, a similar theme that I've been saying across my videos is match times. Everything is a little bit faster, so I do believe ring timers need to be adjusted to compensate, because at the end of the day, a lot of people are fighting early on. They want to fight early on, so by the time the first ring, second ring hits, you're less than 10 teams. You're close to top 10, top 5, top 6. So we need to adjust for that, so that way the matches don't feel staggered towards the end, especially if for some reason you're like wandering around trying to find people to fight with. Overall though, besides that, it still feels good. I felt very engaged throughout the entire match, looking either for more fights or looking just to level up. I didn't feel any different than I would normally in Apex Legends. Inventory once again is super simple. I love it. I love that I know kind of how many of batteries and medkits and syringes I do need to properly fight, and I'm becoming better at looting, and I feel because I don't have to think about shields in terms of what should I do in case I get a better shield. I don't have to worry about that. I know what I'm going to be working with, so that's what makes me more tunnel focused. That might be a personal preference. I'm not sure. You guys let me know what you guys think about that. But overall, inventory being simple is an A in my book. Now, overall, when it comes to the match and with Evo Shields, it is quick, like I mentioned. It's really fast paced. It's engaging pretty much throughout the entire match. There was only a couple of shorter time frames where I wasn't really doing much or just kind of running around trying to figure things out, but I felt really good in these matches, being engaged the entire time, similar to how I felt when I played Warzone when I reviewed that. If you guys remember that video, I said feeling engaged throughout the match of a battle royale is very important. Battle royales naturally are pretty campy, so being able to feel engaged throughout the match makes the experience better in my book. And Evo Shields, it was my inclination, and it confirms it is really the best and most fun way to play, because it becomes less about RNG and more about skill. It now becomes more about skill rather than RNG. Like I just said, it's about the person who can be good at gunfights, good at aiming, good at taking damage, good at engaging and disengaging in fights. Smart people, smart players being able to, like, you know what, if I'm going to play passive, get around it, loot death boxes, get my armor up, engage, poke around, sniping. It's about smart and also aggressive. It's not just about being the best, one-on-one fighter, but it's all tactically. It's about, who can do the right rotations, who can go into the third party correctly, who can disengage out of a third party correctly. It's not just about being good at gunfights. I think it's about all of that together that overall makes it so much fun to play, because I think when it comes down to me and my experience with battle royales, RNG does suck, and losing to RNG is not the greatest feeling. So with Evo Shields, I feel that is diminished. Obviously there is still RNG, because at the end of the day, even though you're dropping with a P2020, you could still lose, because the person next to you could have picked up a Havoc or R301 and then just turn around and melt you, and you don't have a chance to kill them with the P2020. It happens, but that is the nature of a battle royale, so I think it's okay. Now, If I were to rank all of these armors now, taking a step back and seeing which one I would like to move forward with, I would definitely place Evo Shield on top for the following reasons. It promotes and alleviates the campiness of Battle Royale, and specifically in Apex Legends, without eliminating what makes being good at Apex Legends out of the game. And what do I mean by that? Well, personally, I believe when you're good at Apex Legends, you obviously have to have the gun skills and the gunplay to be good, but you also have to be mindful of rotating, disengaging, engaging. Those things that I kept repeating in the video are what top players and pro players do in ranked matches. I watch a lot of the tournaments, and that's what I've noticed, right? That's what they're doing. They're hunkering down, they're positioning themselves. That is not taken away with Evo Shields and by promoting aggressive play to get that level up. It honestly just, quickens the pace of, the beginning of a match where people are still fighting, and if people who are smart will survive to the end, and then it becomes again about that positioning, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to go guns blazing on full teams of red, right? That's just not going to happen. I don't see that happening. So I fully believe that this is nice that's a nice balance, I would say, is the best way to put it. But I know there's controversy with that. I'm sure there's hesitation with a lot of players in the community about making this the thing because it's not casual friendly, and I'm very cognizant of that. And I think I'll be upfront in my bias that I would rather have this version to play than what we normally have, just because it's just the most fun. But that's just me. Not everyone will agree with me. So if we had to choose something that's static, not involving the leveling up aspect, if we had to go with static, I would say purple. And this is surprising. I was heavily leaning towards blue armor the entire time before and during this event, simply because I felt it was the most middle ground of the health pools. But after experiencing purple armor only and really sitting down with it, I really do believe that purple armor is completely fine to start the match with everything is going, simply because it just allows you to not have to worry about the shield aspect, but you have a decent amount of health pool, that the fighting that you do in Apex Legends, the engaging and disengaging that you do frequently is still there, and you don't lose much, right? And I think if we had to choose, purple would be the static armor to go with, so that way Apex Legends could have this removal of RNG shields, which I do believe is the direction we need to go for this game moving forward. It's fresh, it's nice, it's casual enough where it doesn't reduce the skill gap. In my opinion, I believe it just allows you to actually define that a bit better, because now it's just more concentrated on your play and your rotation and the way you think about the game, rather than, dang, I got lucky, I found gold, I got lucky, I found purple, and my enemy found blue or white and had a Mozambique, right? You want to be able to feel good in your engagements, of course, in Battle Royale, and a lot of that has to do with making sure when you win or when you lose, you can narrow that down to something. And I think that's why I'm so for this direction. But that is just me. I would love to know everyone else's thoughts on this. Please leave a comment. Do you agree or disagree? Let's have a discussion, and I can't wait for season 5. Let's get hyped. See you guys in the comment section down below. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I'll be dropping weekly Apex Legends videos like this and gameplays on my channel, so make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and like this video if you like the discussion I was having about the armor and the direction of Apex Legends. But that is it for me. This is Perspective Gaming. My name's Flame078, and until next time, adios.